everyone, welcome to Fig Ultra Reviews. Welcome to the show. Have you ever had a frozen zebra cake? I highly recommend it. If you've somewhat kept up with my channel, then you know I have an odd affinity for anything zombies. If there's a zombie game or movie, I'm there. I mentioned this before, but I'm not even that big of a fan of horror movies in general. I rarely watch them. Oddly though, zombies have a different effect on me. I blame my exposure to the Resident Evil series at a far too young age. But now, when a certain Zombie Idol anime came into play, well, that had a different effect on me too. Oh yeah, 28 days later, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, Night of the Living Dead, Train to Busan, Wild Zero, Dawn of the Dead, and Shaun of the Dead, just to name a few of my favorites. When I did my Sakura review, I said if they keep making all the characters from the show, I'd buy them all. And that's not a threat, because today I'm reviewing the legendary Showa era idol, Zombie number 4, or simply Junko Konno from Zombieland Saga. Look, I even got red on me. I've always wanted to throw a record. Let's go throw a record. Beatles, Elvis, there it is. Christmas Day with the Colonel, that can go. That's the Colonel for you. Now let's start the review. That was actually kind of satisfying. There's our timid little pop idol tucked away in her box. No special bonus or anything today, which means I don't have to feel guilty for not getting it. I'm still deciding if I want to insert as many zombie puns into this review as I can or not. And I'm not feeling it yet. Maybe in a little bit. But for now, let's get her out of this box. Anyone else always have trouble getting these tops open? No? Just me? It's a pretty straightforward Nendo. All the accessories are packed up top. Give her a few pokes to make sure she is dead. I hate the anticipation of ripping off this tape on the back. Everything always goes flying. Okay, now that she is free, we can finally sink our teeth into her and stop. I used that in my first review. Hey, let's start the review and go over the details. Jack, 1, 2. So if you die in your sleep, do you wake up dead? The late 70s to early 80s gave birth to the J-pop idol as we know it today, and our Junko was one of the frontrunners to start this great idol boom, which gave way to everything that came after. Times for young idols were different during the 70s. Most idols took part in solo careers, so Junko had to rely on her raw vocal and musical talent to stand out. They also had to live very private lives during that era, keeping their lifestyles almost completely under wraps, with only the brief occasional fabricated television appearance in between. They were never given the opportunity to display their personalities, which would explain Junko-chan's shy and feeble behavior. Those poofy locks are her most prominent feature, as they almost completely surround her whole face. Her faded white bangs lightly sweep around her eyes and caress her cheeks. The back bunches up around her neck as it's tied up with ribbons. They pop out too. A few loose strands frizz out respectively on their sides. Her ice blue eyes calmly and solemnly look ahead as she gives a faint, bashful smile. Going along with the time period, she sports a traditional school uniform. Her seifu is a monotone navy blue with white accent lines. Don't forget the short chopped tie to complete it. Her socks are scrunched and her shoes are shiny. Wait, she's a zombie. Did I forget to mention that? She's dead. But don't worry, she's been faithfully resurrected and very painstakingly pieced back together, since, you know.
No shit!
She pretty much exploded on impact. So she literally was pieced back together, hence all the patches. Like the one splitting all the way down her face that's been crudely stapled together. Her skin has been burned, bruised, and beaten. Her legs are the most multicolored patches out of everything on her body, with only a few tiny patches on her chest. Rigor mortis is setting in on her hands as they clamber open in your classic zombie fashion. Her glowing red eyes pierce open, full of, I was gonna say life, but now that we're all familiarized with our little pop star, let's see what accessories she flaunts. With an immense knowledge of the music industry, both singing and choreography skills, Junko is one of France Shushu's sturdiest pillars. Plus, she's absolutely precious and must be protected at all costs. Let's go over all of her accessories already. We'll go ahead and start with her human form first. Before, well, you know, she only comes with one normal faceplate, which is a delicate, gentle smile. Next, for her hands, we got the Nendoroid staple, those open boys. Then a pair for daintily cupping together. That's it for her normal version, but what about her zombie form? Did I mention she's dead? Go ahead and swap her neck with the more appropriate zombified version. Then replace her tie, which pegs onto her shoulders like so. She's lump, she's lump, she's lump, she might be dead. Okay, we got those classic Dawn of the Dead cold, lifeless, creeping hands. She's also a bashful zombie with another pair of shy hands. Even the best have their doubts sometimes. Junko-chan gets a solemn, depressed face. Then, lightening things up with her surprised, bashful face. I love the shocked look she's casting. Lastly, the folks at Goodsmile like recreating scenes from the shows, so they threw in two goodies for us to do so with. Just pop on her sitting legs, then slightly crack open her noggin and slide in those mushrooms. That's right, it's the scene when she barricades herself in the room and literally grows mushrooms on her head as she sits stagnant for several weeks. The goofy dead look on her face and fungi casually plopped on the top of her head makes it a bit more comical rather than, you know, sad. That's all for accessories, so let's go and boogie on over to my likes and dislikes for this tiny dancer. It's time to bust a move and let you guys know what I both like and or dislike about this kawaii little Nendoroid. We're gonna start with those likes. The first glaring issue I had with my Sakura Nendo was her rotting, fleshy zombie skin. Its color seemed far too blue and huey compared to her in the anime. She's straight up looking like Blueberry Violet from Willy Wonkers, but I think the Goodsmile homies got the skin tone just right with Junko here. It's a little more flush and pale, plus I love the multicolored patches. Not that patches. Ko-chan is the most reserved and humble idol of the group, so GS definitely made sure we knew that by jam-packing her with adorable goodies from like top to bottom. Her delicate smiles and rosy blushing cheeks to her mannerisms. I like how we can give her the bashful pose in both human and zombie form. Look at her trying to be scary with those gnarled up fingers. She's even a cutie when she's dead. Next, same as Sakura, I like how they added both her human and zombie form. It's like two figures in one. The mushrooms are funny and what are those? She's got slippers on. She's got her flippy floppies on. Now on to my dislikes. How could I dislike anything about her little mushroom head? But okay, I might have a few, just to name a couple. Let's go ahead and start with those mushrooms. I have a little PTSD about cracking open heads and inserting thin plastic sheets in them. Just thinking about trying to insert Megumin's hat is giving me like major anxiety. Luckily, Junko's face stays on and the plastic actually holds the mushrooms in place. Unfortunately, there is a slight gap along her hair where it slides in at. And I think what irks me the most is that they don't sit flush either. Speaking of hair, I wish it was more of a bright white, like hers in the anime, but this is kind of more of a almost faded gray. I even noticed the same kind of issue on the 2B Nendo. The most glaring thing about her to me is the swappable tie part of her uniform. With it being from the chest up, the color contrast between her neck peg is very noticeable and doesn't really look natural at all, or actually match her neck that well. Okay, that's it for the likes/dislikes. Tie! Stop eating Junko! I gotta get my reviews next! Alright, this is the part where I rate her by adding... Ty, seriously, leave Junko alone, you can't eat her! Ty! Sorry about that. First category is deadness, and... Yep, she is most certainly 100% dead. Next up is photographability. Although her uniform is pretty simple, I love the little matching details like the white piping around her puffy sleeves and frills around the bottom of her dress. Her fuzzy white hair is a definite standout with the way it wisps around her face. And the wrapped up twin tails are nice too. Oh, I did it again. Like I mentioned before, slap her out and about in her human form, then recreate the scene from episode 7 where she solemnly questions her existence. It's fun mixing up her zombie poses and cute bashful ones too. And of course, those slippers, dude. Alright, if you got the Sakura Nendoroid, you can recreate the scene with Truck-kun. Next up is quality. This is one honking Nendo. Of course, the Nendoroid line is usually problem-free, quality-wise. Knock on wood. It's the Figma line that causes a ruckus. Everything is easy and breezy to switch out. Her swappable neck is easy to take on and off. Her mushrooms stay put. What else can I say? Everything is painted nicely. Her leg patches are detailed good enough for a $40 figure. It's good stuff. It's hot Zenny approved, y'all. My last category is Junko holding a houseplant. That's all I got. It's just her holding a plant. I'm giving her 3.9 out of 5. It's time to tally things up with my final thoughts. As Zombieland Saga surprisingly nuzzled its way into the cockles of my heart, all the characters easily grew on me, but Junko's actually kind of meh to me at first, but rewatching clips for this review, I couldn't help it, guys. She's just too dang sweet and precious. Slap her up there on the tier list. But we got season 2 coming, boys! It's coming soon, too, so Goodsmile better get stepping on the rest of the best damn idol group in Saga, boy. I'm gonna make a bet with you. If they do plan on making more ZLS Nendos, I bet my left shoe they're gonna make I next. And I's kinda meh to me as well. So hurry up and make her, and then make the rest of the characters. They're easily the best. I'm talking Saki, the Sukiba badass boss lady, the legendary, the absolutely legendary Tai Yamada, Lady Yugiri, even Tatsumi and his little dog too. I mean, Lily! Make her, she's literally a Nendoroid. Oh, there's so many good characters from this show. Anyways, if you like the show, like Nendoroids, like zombies, like idols, like frozen zebra cakes, like houseplants, just get her. Do it. Okay, that wraps up the review, and always, thank you so much for hanging out with me today and watching my video. I always recommend checking out my other reviews and stuff, and if you can't tell, I have a total blast making these reviews. It's falling apart. And side note, I do hope to be streaming more video games in the future. When our basement construction is over with, I'll just be playing some games and hanging out. So keep an eye out for those streams popping up here on YouTube. Alright, much love. You're the best. I'll see you all the next time. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.